Happy New Year! I hope that this last day of 2025 is already amazing. Now it's just some hours and then we are in 2026. I already in late October went into the energy of 2026. When we live in the spiral life, not the linear life, it is easy to go in past, future, wherever you want. But in this last video, I want to speak about meaning, because one of the main essence of our soul, our higher dimension, is meaning. We see that all life, all experience, and especially the hard one, has meaning. A lot of us have learned that things are meaningless, but if you attune to your soul, if you resonate in higher vibration, you see the totality and you see that, oh, nothing was a waste. I can give an example. When I was a youth, I started to study electronics. I studied for 3 years and I worked with electronics for 9 years. From 1990 to 1999, I worked with electronics. I didn't like it and it wasn't my path, but I did it because I was a pleaser and my father said that I kind of had to do it. And since me being a pleaser, I did it. And it could have been easy to do, oh, that was waste, that wasn't the right. But I learned a lot, and also I had a very good income. I earned so many money because it was a good paid job that I had. And I got my 3 first child when I worked with this, and I had a economic foundation that I needed for that period. So even though I started to study another direction in 1999, then I started in the health, really going in. Even though I studied from the outside, I started to study it in books and in paradigm and in more in resonance. So it wasn't a waste. So every dot kind of connect where I am today, all that I have experienced. I have been in so many fields. Everything links to what I'm doing now, becoming Homo Luminous. And since I also have done the resistant way, that I was a pleaser, I did what the society expected of me, what my parents expected of me, not following my soul, I became sicker. So I became sick and the doctor said, you will die. And it was because I tried to listen more to the society, what we perceive as success from the outside, but not listening to the heart. Even though I listened to the heart at one level, but not the complete picture of it. So that's why in 2013, then I radically shift, and now I live the truth, my truth, not your truth, but because all of us have a unique truth, and I have aligned to what my soul shows. And actually I was supposed to be in the forgetfulness for 40 years to learn how most sickness is a habitat disease. Our environment where we live actually program us, and we take in our habitat and we become sick. Cancer is habitat disease, fatigue, a lot of the sickness, more than 90% of the sickness in the world is habitat disease. And this was what I wrote about in the Health Bible, because I understood that, wow, because I was a pleaser, I became sick. But it had a meaning. So I have learned through a lot of resistance, being a pleaser and wanting to please everyone else, I got sick. So when I recalibrated and kind of are living in my source point, then living from my heart, then I create health, I create wellness, I create all what my soul longs for. And when I started Divine Mass in 2024, I had one of the Divine Mass where the theme was meaning. And in this Divine Mass, I made a story about meaning. So after this, since it is the last day, I want to kind of tune you into meaning, the soul's agenda. The soul see everything kind of as meaning. So reflect on this story to get new perspective. Maybe this is your perspective already, but listen to the story because it is kind of horror, someone experiencing horror, and a lot of us really meet a lot of challenging these days, and how this actually serves us. Not that life is against us, but life serves us because we learn deeper when we really feel hard things on our body. We experience it, and then we need the contrast to really embody the light and really emanating the light. It's beneficial to really have felt the darkness, the contrast. I have felt the contrast big time, big time, and that's why I love being where I am now, because I have been so much in the contrast, and now I choose deliberately. So, and tomorrow I will share a video about Know Thyself, and this is also another aspect of meaning. But for today, this last day in 25, you will get the story of meaning. And I wish you an amazing day, amazing 2026. And if you want to line even better up with the 2026, you are invited to have a one-to-one mentoring with me in week 1 and week 2, and also 3 and 4, but you have the discount in week 1 and week 2. The Fire Beneath the Ashes, a story of meaning through unimaginable pain. Her name was Leora. It means light in an ancient tongue. But the world she lived in would try to steal that light again and again. She grew up in a quiet mountain village where silence was sacred and the trees whispered the wisdom into her dreams. People said she had healing hands, that her laughter could soften even the most weathered souls. She believed in good, in the kindness of strangers, in the songs of her grandmother that spoke of the time when humans and God still walked hand in hand. But one autumn morning, the sky turned black. It wasn't just the clouds, it was the smoke. Her village, her home, was burning. Leora returned from gathering herbs in the forest to find the air thickened with screams and gunfire, homes crumbling, children crying for mothers who were already gone. She tried to run, but she was captured. And that was the beginning of hell. For 31 days and nights, Leora was kept in a darkened room beneath the earth. She was bound, beaten, starved, raped repeatedly. Her captor, men in uniform, boys with empty eyes, called her nothing. Not woman, not human, just property. They burned her skin with cigarettes when she cried. They laughed when she bled. They spit scripture at her between violation, as if to crown their cruelty with twisted righteousness. And the worst part, she began to believe them. She stopped praying. She stopped speaking. She stopped breathing fully, only enough to stay alive. There were nights she whispered into the floor, "Please, end it." But life, in its strange deficient, held her anyway. When she was rescued, her body was broken, her soul in fragments. She didn't speak for months. Her hair fell out. She couldn't eat without trembling. People looked at her with pity, or avoid her altogether. What do you say to a woman who has seen the inside of hell? But it was not the therapist or the medicine that began her healing. It was a moment, a small human moment. She was sitting alone near a refugee camp, watching a sparrow hop across a broken fence. And near her a young girl no more than 7, sobbed uncontrollably, clutching a toy missing its face. The girl had lost everything. Leora, still trembling, crawled to her, sat beside her, and for the first time since the torture, she placed her palm gently over the girl's heart and said, "I know." That was the crack in the dam. That was the beginning of the return. From that moment, people came to her not because she had answers, but because she had seen the abyss and did not deny it. She never preached, she witnessed, and in that witnessing, people began to heal. Over the years, Leora became known not just as a survivor, but as a soul mirror. Her story shaped new languages for global trauma care. Her presence opened the hearts of leaders who had forgotten their own. But Leora never took credit. She said, "I didn't survive so the world would know my name. I survived so someone else wouldn't have to carry their pain alone." And when asked how she found meaning in what happened, she would look you in the eyes and say, "I didn't find meaning. Meaning found me in the broken floor, in the God with a silent scream. In the moment I realized my pain wasn't the end of the story." Some wounds never disappear. Some suffering lives in the bones forever. But meaning doesn't always come to take away the pain. Sometimes it comes to walk with us inside of it. Like a lantern in the dark, like Leora. And just like Leora, we all carry a story, written in pain, shaped by mystery, and waiting to be reawakened with purpose. But to live a meaningful life, we must dare to reset, to return to the essence of who we truly are. That is why the Vinema Reset exists, to guide you home to your soul's blueprint, where your wounds become wisdom and your life becomes sacred again. Are you ready to live the life your soul remembers? In a world that often forgets the sacred, your healing is an act of remembrance. Through the Vinema Reset, you don't just transform your life. You become the light that transforms the world around you. True meaning.